You know that feeling, right? Sometimes you can get so lost in learning a new skill that you completely lose track of time. But then, other times, a simple task on your to-do list feels like, well, like climbing Mount Everest. What's the difference? It all comes down to motivation. And in this explainer, we're going to dig into the real science of what makes us tick.
I mean, it's a puzzle we all face, isn't it? You can pour an entire weekend into mastering a ridiculously hard video game, but then you struggle to just open a textbook for 10 minutes. This isn't some kind of personal failure of willpower. Nope, it's actually a really complex psychological process that we're about to unpack together. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, let's start with a solid definition. Motivation isn't just a feeling. It's a process. It's the engine that not only gets us started on something, but, and this is the really crucial part, it's what keeps us going, especially when things get a little tough.
Now, the world of motivation research is huge. There are dozens of theories out there, and it can get pretty complicated. But here's the good news. We can boil almost all of it down to two fundamental questions that your brain is constantly, quietly asking in the background.
And here they are. It's really this simple. Question 1, can I do it? This is all about your belief in your own abilities, your competence. Do you actually expect you're going to succeed? Do you feel confident? And then, question 2, do I want to do it? This is all about value. Is this task interesting to you? Is it important? Does it matter to you personally? Think about it. If the answer to either one of those questions is a hard no, your motivational engine is just going to stall out before it even gets started. Okay, so with those two big questions in our back pocket, can I do it? And do I want to do it? We can take a quick look at how different modern theories try to explain all the little details. Let's think of each of these theories as a unique lens, just giving us a slightly different angle on the very same picture. All right, here's our rapid tour. First, expectancy value theory. That's basically a direct snapshot of our two questions, right? Your motivation is a mix of how much you expect to succeed and how much you value the thing. Easy enough? Then you have attribution theory, which is about the stories we tell ourselves after we succeed or fail. Did I fail because I'm just not smart enough or because I didn't try hard enough? That story totally changes your motivation for next time. Social cognitive theory really zooms in on that can I do it question, focusing on something called self-efficacy, your belief you can handle a specific task. Goal orientation asks about your why. Are you trying to truly master the material, or are you just trying to look smart and beat everyone else? And finally, there's self-determination theory, which we're about to dive into. It looks at the incredible power of doing things because we're genuinely interested in them.
So, let's zoom in on that last one. Self-determination theory, or SDT for short. The reason we're focusing on it is because it's one of the most powerful and practical frameworks out there. It doesn't just describe what motivation is, it gives us a real recipe for how to create the best, highest quality version of it. So SDT says that for us to have that high-quality, sustainable motivation, 3 basic, universal psychological needs have to be met. It's like a plant needing sun, soil, and water. First up is autonomy. We all need to feel like we have a choice, like we're in the driver's seat of our own lives. Second is competence, that feeling that we're good at what we do and that we're making progress. And third is relatedness, the need to feel connected to other people, to feel like we belong and are cared for. When an environment gives us these 3 things, our motivation just flourishes. When it takes them away, it totally withers.
And what's so cool about SDT is how it lays out motivation on a spectrum. All the way on the left, you've got A motivation. That's zero intent. You just don't care. Then you move into what's called controlled motivation. That's when you're doing something because of outside pressure, so external stuff, like trying to get a reward or avoid a punishment. And introjected motivation, which is more about internal pressure, like guilt or ego. But as we move to the right, motivation gets better and better. It becomes more autonomous. You start doing things because you personally identify with the value of it. Then it becomes integrated into who you are, part of your core self, until finally you reach the peak, intrinsic motivation. That's when you do something just for the pure fun and joy of it.
And this brings us to a huge kind of paradoxical point. We tend to think that dangling a carrot, grades, money, rewards, is the best way to motivate people. But the research is crystal clear. Trying to control people with these external things, it usually backfires. It crushes our sense of autonomy, pushes us down to that low-quality controlled end of the spectrum, and in the long run, it actually makes our performance worse. So, if rewards and punishments can actually hurt motivation, what's the answer? Well, it means we have to make a pretty big mental shift.
We need to stop thinking of motivation as some kind of personal resource that you have to find inside yourself, and start thinking about the environment you're in.
And that right there is the big secret. This is the main takeaway. Motivation isn't a personal failing or a virtue, it's an environmental outcome. The key isn't to just have more willpower, it's about consciously designing your world, your workspace, your study routine, your team at work, to feed those 3 basic needs we just talked about.
So that leaves us with one final, very practical question to chew on. Think about something you're struggling to feel motivated for right now. How could you inject a little more choice, a bit more autonomy into it? How could you break it down into smaller, manageable steps to build up that feeling of competence? And who could you connect with to get that sense of relatedness? When you start asking these questions, you stop searching for motivation, and you start building it.